How do you know if somebody is friendly? If he's friendly, he must be so nice. He behaves warmly to everyone. He doesn't judge, criticize anybody or anything. He forgives and forgets easily. He accepts everything. He likes to make friends with everybody. He's very hospitable, for sure. And people like to deal with the friendly people. They always like the friendly man. They feel so good with the friendly guy. Okay. In Vietnam, the international guests usually have very nice feeling toward Vietnamese people. And when they are asked about what do you think about Vietnamese people? And they usually say, Vietnamese people are friendly, hardworking, and intelligent. Yeah, maybe they based on something to say so. Because we have the cultural background. We have Buddhism background too. And we used to have a race war history. And that explains why we are friendly, intelligent, and hardworking. Okay, I got a unit Vietnamese. We can discuss deeper about that. However, I tell you, every community, people in every community always say they are friendly. They are friendly, sorry. All of them. Nobody say they are unfriendly, they are aggressive, they are arrogant. No, nobody. Okay. But in Vietnam, actually, I believe that the Westerner or the people who live in down South Vietnam in Mekong Delta are the most friendly people. Or we can say the friendliest people in Vietnam. Why so? Like this. They have reason. We can explain and prove this point. First, they are friendly thanks to their very simple, humble origin. You know that Vietnam land don't have one piece like nowadays. We have the history of expanding territory from north to south. And until 18th century, 19, early 19th century, basically our territory has one piece of land like nowadays. And South Vietnam or Mekong Delta area used to be the vast remote area and has loose control with the government, Cambodian government and Vietnamese government. And Vietnamese people came here to somehow like to tame the land, to control the wildlife, to explore the new area. But who are the first traveler? Who are the first settler in Mekong? Who are the first Vietnamese? Who are they? What characteristics did they have? They are usually very poor. illiterate or low educated. They are scared people. They are hungry. They were hungry. Why so? Because they must run away from the continuous war between some self-controlled leaders. At that time, Vietnam had civil war, Trịnh Nguyễn war, right? Inner and outer war. That's it. So those poor, hungry, scary, starving people must run away from their home, and they settled down in Mekong Delta, South Vietnam, with Cambodian. A few Cambodians scattered here and there in Mekong Delta, with Cham, with Chinese. Okay, so the ancestor 4 centuries ago of Mekong Delta citizens were like that. So I tell you, if you have the community in which most of people were poor, illiterate, starving, and scared, of course, they are very close to each other. They are very humble. They are very modest. They earnest. They're so lovely and friendly, for sure. If you want to be arrogant, you want to be cocky or naughty, at least you must be rich. You must be well educated so you can look down on somebody. You want to look down. You must have something better than them, right? And if I am poor, I'm illiterate, how can I look down on anybody? Or I just feel jealous, all right? That's it. So they are friendly thanks to their origin. And second, they are friendly thanks to their poor living condition, their hard living condition at first. Okay. How about the land of Mekong Delta 4th century, 3 centuries ago? It was not nice like it is nowadays. It had a very small population, and they just scatter everywhere, here and there, on some high stretch of land, in the middle of river, near the coastline. Okay, majority, high percentage of territory were thrown few meters under the water in the rain season, so they couldn't live in these low area. That's it. And for the wildlife like that, there were a lot of wild animals. So somehow, with the true land and a lot of wildlife like that, and with a very little population, like a tune, facility, like knowledge, and they like almost everything. And if they want to survive, they must cooperate with each other. They must trust each other. They must gather together. They must be nice to each other. For that reason, they are friendly. Okay. Number 3, resource, or I mean nature support. I tell you, basically, we don't need a lot of money to survive in Mekong Delta. Because Mekong Delta is the best land to live. Except some money for clothes, for medical care, for domestic cosmetic product. We really don't need money for food. Because we got rice on the field, fish in the river, fruit and vegetable in the garden. If you have some little experience and knowledge about farming and agriculture, and when you come to the land, you can realize the land in Mekong Delta is so fertile, it's so rich, because it's enriched and fertile every year by the wonderful Mother Mekong River. Mekong River carry million tons of alluvium, which, like a natural fertilizer, enrich the soil for Mekong Delta yearly, 1,000 years. So it's quite okay. It's very easy to roll something on, especially the food tree and food plants. So basically, people don't need a lot of attempt, don't need much skill to survive. That's it. Mekong Delta is the best land in Vietnam. People can live there easily. They can make their living easily because they have fresh water whole year round. They have fertile soil. It's very easy to find some food to eat. Basically, they don't need much attempt to survive. They can base on nature because nature really supports so much for the people. So, for that, the Westerner, Vietnamese Westerner, they are very friendly and hospitable for that. And you want to be hospitable, you must have something. You cannot feed the outsider while your family members are starving. You have nothing to eat or very little thing to survive. How can you treat the other people nicely? How can you give them food while your children are starving? That's it. So in here, Westerners, they have plenty of support. They can find food easily. I remember about a time when we were younger. People even sleep with the door open. They don't care. They don't worry for burglar, for thief, for robbery. That's it. Yeah. In Mekong Delta, when you go to floating market, when you buy fruit, people in there don't sell you by kilogram. They sell you by 10 or dozen. Okay, for example, you buy milk fruit or mangoes, and you go and buy them some tens of mango. Tens mean 10, right? Okay, up to now it's 10. But in Mekong Delta, 10 means 12. 10 fruit means 12 fruit or 14 fruit. Because they can grow. They have plenty in their own garden. They don't need to calculate very carefully. They don't need to be very mean and selfish. They are very open-minded. That's it. That explains why they are so friendly. Number 4, weather and climate. Vietnam doesn't have earthquake or volcano or tsunami, but we do have storm and flood. But I tell you, most of the serious storm just hit the center land of Vietnam, center region of Vietnam. Every year from August to January, we have about 10 to 12 storms, and 99% of them hit the center area of Vietnam or north. Okay, and then most of the serious flood are in the center and in North Vietnam. Because in South Vietnam, we just have about 40 low mountain, old mountain, just concentrate by the border between Vietnam and Cambodia. Majority of land in Mekong Delta is the flat land. That's the reason why we call it Delta. Okay, that's it. So the flood, when it come down, the water come down from the mountain or from the hill, and when it go down, it goes so fast, so fiercely, and it flow away all of the house, the property, the animals, the cattle, the poultry. That's a terrible, that's a bad flood. But in Mekong Delta, we don't have storm. We rarely have storm. Yeah. In 1995, 1997, we had a storm called storm number 7, storm number 5, and that killed thousands Vietnamese people in Mekong Delta. It's not just because the government didn't report, didn't warn everybody. They warn people officially on television, on radio, that encourage people should be careful with the storm, with the strong wind, with tornado. But people just ignore. They ignore the notice, the announcement, the warning of government. You know why? Because for 100 years, since 1905 until 2000, until 1995, almost 100 years, they have never had any storm. Over one people's life, they don't know storm. And they never believe that storm could hit the land of Mekong Delta. So they don't believe. They don't repair anything. They don't reinforce their house. And it was even worse because they didn't, when they went to the ocean to go fishing by the fishing boat, fishing ship, they don't just got away from the storm path. They just kept on doing what they did. That's it. So the storm destroyed them and killed thousands of people. That was terrible. I would like to mention about this event just because I want to show you that Mekong Delta has so nice weather and climate. Yeah. The average temperature in the whole year round is 27 degrees Celsius. Yeah. And the weather, there are two main seasons, rain season and hot season, dry season. Okay. And it's not very hot. And they have fresh water in the whole year. Yeah. They don't have even very strong tornado or strong wind. They don't often have storm. They don't have flood. Yeah, Mekong Delta have flood, but that's a friendly flux. Yep. And for the local people, we call it the floating water season or the rising water season. Mean that the water come up slowly. Mekong Delta part in Vietnam is divided into two main streams, two main rivers, called the First River and the Back River. Okay, and in rain season, million ton of water, cubic meter of water, just flow down into the territory of Vietnam, part of South Vietnam. And the two rivers cannot contain the giant, the titanic water like that. So the water just come up everywhere and get the land, the rice field thrown under the 1 or 2 meter under the water. Okay. However, when the flood season, the rising water season like that coming, people always aware and make good reparation for it. Because it just come every year in a certain time for the certain amount. So everybody know that. And the rising season even bring up fish and alluvial to enrich their soil, bring food to them. Yeah. And they enjoy that kind of flood. See, even the flood is very nice. Not like the flood in the center or in the north part of Vietnam. That's it. So, for these reasons, thanks to origin and the first living condition, natural resource and weather and climate that make the Vietnamese Westerner are so friendly, so friendly. Okay, that's it.